Indian Premier League is barely 3 weeks away, but the BCCI is yet to release the schedule for the 13th edition of the league, which is starting from the 19th of September. Now, according to the IPL, it is getting delayed because the teams are taking stock of everything, including the recce of the venues. Some even say it's due to the rise in cases in Abu Dhabi. To talk about all that, we will be joined by Delhi Capital CEO Dheeraj Malhotra and the Managing Director of Danube Group, Anis Sajan. Anis, let me first come to you. Dheeraj is also with us. Dheeraj, let me first come to you. We still don't have a schedule of the IPL. When do we expect that?
We've been told it should be with us by the end of the week, end of the month. So another 3-4 days, we should have the schedule.
Anis, let me come to you. There is a genuine concern about rise in the COVID numbers in Abu Dhabi. Is there a talk about how to control and the way forward?
Well, I was in touch with the guys who are looking into the ground operations, and the only thing what I could get information from them is that to control the COVID is in the hand of the people as well as the government officials. And like they had control last time around when the COVID cases had risen up, they have again going into the same protocol, and there might be another lockdown which might be started in the UAE where people will not be allowed to go after 10 p.m. So I hope that scenario doesn't come if the COVID rises. So let's hope for the best that the COVID cases go down.
Dheeraj, since you run the operations of the franchise as well, have you managed to get to the grounds and see how the three venues are being managed, and how different is it this time around from the earlier times that you've run operations for IPL?
Rika, we haven't yet gone anywhere because we've been quarantined in our rooms. We've got 6 to 7 days of mandatory quarantine where we can't even meet our teammates, forget going out. So we're stuck in our rooms. We don't know what's going on outside. We did do not a recce, but we've spoken to almost all the grounds. We've spoken to the people in charge of those grounds. We know the conditions. Luckily, thanks to my stint with ICC, I've actually worked in most of these venues. So I have a fair idea of what to expect. And ECB, the Emirates Cricket Board, is obviously doing their best, and they're helping us in every way. The difference that I've done when I used to run the IPL, which was when we went to South Africa, the difference was there was no COVID. The difference was the stadiums were full. The difference was that the people could move around freely. So that's a big difference. The biggest challenge I think the BCCI would have is just to make sure that the bubble is maintained and the bubble remains a bubble. And that will be a challenge. Who gets in, who doesn't get in? How does it work for owners? How does it work for management? So that's the tricky part this time, which is unprecedented time. So it's pretty surreal at the moment.
Dheeraj, what we understand is that Restrata, a group, is managing all these COVID-related protocols in the UAE, and you guys will be separated into 3 different groups. Is there a clarity on, how each group will interact with the other? The reason I'm asking you is that as a CEO, do you get access to the team? Do you get one-on-one interaction with the team members at any point in time?
Restrata starting tomorrow. They're doing 2 franchises at a time. So I think they plan to do it in 2-3 days where they want to cover every franchise. So we'll get a proper briefing then. But as far as we are concerned, as of now, I'm part of the bubble. I'm doing what everybody is doing. So I'm hoping that I'll have access to the team. I'll have access to the players because we are maintaining the same protocols that everybody else is. So I'm doing the same number of tests. We did 3 tests in India before we flew to Dubai. The minute we landed in Dubai, we were tested at the airport. Then the whole team was tested yesterday again. And again, we'll be tested on the 28th. And post that is when we can meet the team. So as of now, my understanding is that since I'm part of that protocol, since I'm maintaining everything and what the team is doing, I should be able to be part of the team and have access to the team.
So 29th
but again,
is when...
as I said, sorry?
Right.
29th is when we will be able to get out the first time. 29th is when we want to hopefully start our training. And that's when, by then we'll also have a Restrata briefing. So we'll have a slightly clearer picture than what it is at the moment.
Right. Anis, to you mentioned about a lockdown, a possible lockdown. If there is a lockdown and if there are cases rising in Abu Dhabi, do you think that BCCI can access another facility which is not the ground that is allocated for IPL right now? Are there more facilities that could be made available for IPL?
No, in UAE we have 3 facilities. One is the Dubai Cricket Stadium, the iconic Sharjah, and the Abu Dhabi. Apart from there is an ICC academy, but international matches have not been played there. There have been A level matches. So I don't think there's any other facility. Now, if you're talking about Abu Dhabi, they have been very strict that if I'm from Dubai and if I have to go to Abu Dhabi, I need to have a COVID test clearance where it shows negative, which is maximum for 24 hours. If it exceeds that, I need to do another COVID test.
Dheeraj, to you, one of the challenges probably the franchises will be meeting with is how to condition the players mentally, how to keep them mentally fit apart from being physically fit. What is your franchise, how is your franchise working towards that? As you mentioned that you guys are under lockdown, and it must be pretty demanding to be under lockdown for all these days.
It is. It's insane that you've got your rooms next to each other. Your teammates are part of your family, and you can't meet them. But I mean, that is the need of the hour, and we all understand that. Having said that, we're getting into Zoom calls. We're talking as a bunch. We plan to have a few fun activities on Zoom calls with the team. Maybe just have a few laughs. Do some. Our captain is one of the top magicians. Maybe do some magic shows. I mean, just ideas like that. But that is now for the first 7 days. But when you look at when the tournament starts, even then we're in the bubble. So we are in Dubai, but it's not like we can go anywhere. And so we also, every team, the focus is on team rooms, recreation rooms. So we're having a lot of games in the team rooms. We'll have like pool, table tennis, lots of virtual reality, PlayStations, just somehow to keep the team entertained. And we're also speaking to the Dubai ministry and seeing if certain areas can be locked down for us, and maybe we can go one day, spend a day at some theme park. Again, all that we need to first check with BCCI, we're allowed to do that. Because we will, you're right.
As a franchise, would you say that keeping the players motivated for all these 80 days is the biggest challenge? Well, the skill levels are going to be checked by all the coaches, that you have a power pack coaching team led by Ricky Ponting. You've kind of joined hands with Ryan Harris. You have Mohammad Kaif, and you also have Samuel Badri. So it's like a power pack team, coaching team. They'll take care of all the coaching activities. But would you say the biggest challenge will come from keeping them mentally fit all these 82 days?
Absolutely, Rika. And we were talking to our coaches, and we do feel that the team who are mentally balanced and who are, mentally in a better state would have a better chance. I mean, because it's 80 days in a not lockdown, but kind of a lockdown, because you can't meet anybody but yourselves. So that's our biggest challenge: how to entertain them, how to keep them motivated, day in and day out. That is, I think, most franchises, that'll be the biggest challenge.
Anis, to you, well, you are experienced in terms of running cricket operations there. You own a team in the T10 league. Tell us, what is that the IPL teams can expect during this edition of the IPL? While T10 is a little different from T20, but it is limited overs cricket anyway.
See, like Dheeraj mentioned, Rika, that it's very, very important for every franchise to make sure that the team is bonded and kept mentally strong. Like in this 80 days or for the last 6 days, as he mentioned, that the players are not even allowed to go outside their rooms. So which is very, very tough. Very few players must have seen this. In fact, none of the players must have seen this unless they have gone for a Vipassana course where you don't talk to anybody for 10 days. So this is going to be challenging. So every franchise which makes sure that the team is connected virtually, either through games, as you mentioned, the table tennis or any other game, and keep them fit. And the moment they go on to the ground, you see, once they go on for the practices, that is where they feel that, no, they are out of the bubble and they can play some cricket. But once that is done, they need to come back to the hotel. So how you keep them physically engaged or, keep them tied up? And because once you are bored, there is where there is a chance, which I'm sure all the players will be educated and will be taught that they don't break this bubble, because one player, as Virat Kohli mentioned, breaks a bubble can end up messing up the whole tournament.
Right. Dheeraj, one final question to you. Do you have a message for the fans in the UAE that you want to give throughout our broadcast right now? Will they be allowed in? What's the final call from the BCCI?
So again, I don't know if it's more a BCCI call than the UAE or the ECB call. What we've been told, again, it's not, we've not been given any official confirmation or any official intimation. But what we've been told is that in come October, 30 to 40% of the people might be allowed. As of now, no one's allowed. But as I'm saying, look, all teams, we need the fans. They're the most important. They are a 12th man for almost every team. So, and the timing will be the same. So watch it on TV, if not on the ground, and just keep cheering your team. Cheer Delhi more than the others, but just keep cheering.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the broadcast this evening.